For my next build, I am doing Dale Earnhardt's 1989-1990 Chevy Lumina, which of course GM switched over from the Monte Carlo to the Chevy Lumina for a couple years in the early 90s before going back to the highly successful Monte Carlo in the mid 90s. So I've got the body here, which is from a donor kit. This is not, there is a monogram Dale Earnhardt kit, but I'm not using that. I'm just using a donor and some decals I got from Mike's Decals. So this is the donor kit. As you can see here, just the body, then we've got the chassis and kind of all the pieces, at least the floorboard there, and then the hood and some other body pieces here. So eventually I'm going to prep the body and the chassis, and I'll show how I did that, but I've gone ahead and started on the engine, so I'll make some room for that. Something that I do with a lot of these builds, what I try to do is make sure that you always clean up your pieces. So what I've actually done is, here is the engine parts. I've actually soaked these in dish detergent and water for a while to get them clean, then dried them off. Now the engine block I've already glued together, and I use clamps, simple clamps, just like these DeWalt ones. They work pretty easily. Just Loctite super glue, and make sure that you don't use too much glue, that it squeezes out from between the gaps from the seams when you glue it together. So this is all nice and clean. As you can see, there's no excess glue. So I've gone ahead and glued the engine block. Of course, the transmission is usually molded as one piece. So the next step is the oil pan here, which is meant to just go on to the bottom here. So what I'm actually going to do is test fit these, but instead of gluing them together, I just want to see where they fit, and then I'm going to make a mental note of that. You can even use sticky tack and outline this a little bit, and then I'm going to do the same for the cylinder head covers, which go on just like that. And I'm going to make sure that when I start painting this, that I don't actually get paint where it's already going to be covered or where the connection pieces are. So for example, on this oil pan, I'm not going to put any paint up here on the ridge, because we don't want, that's what's actually going to make the connection. And as much as possible, we want bare plastic meeting bare plastic. So that's where I am right now. That's where the engine assembly is going. You can see I've got the other pieces here, the rocker covers, distributors, kind of an air cover. Here's the intake that I've got here, and so all this will go on and will be painted today, or should be painted today, and we'll do some of that, and then also do some body prep. This is the first step. The engine goes together pretty easily. Make sure you clean those pieces before you start painting, and then I'll get started and set up and show you how I'm going to paint.